Hello, my name is Ceci from Otters, and in this video I will show you how to make your own Chubee the bee. You will need some yellow yarn. I have used this thin 100% cotton yarn, some black yarn, and some white for the wings. Also a 2.5mm crochet hook, some pink yarn for the cheeks, a stitch marker, 2 safety eyes of 6mm, a pair of scissors, and a yarn needle. Oh, and also some stuffing. This overview is for people who have a little more experience making amigurumi. I started by making a magic ring of 6 single crochets, and then I made some increases. In the second round you'll have 12 single crochets, then 18, 24, 30, and 36 single crochets. Then you continue making 36 single crochets for 3 more rounds. In total, the face has 9 rounds of 36 single crochets. Here you're going to insert the eyes, make the cheeks, and the mouth. After that, you're going to make the stripes. I worked 2 rounds per stripe by making color changes up to the round 20. Then I started making the decreases to 30, 24, 18, and 12 single crochets as in this example. Then you're gonna make 6 more decreases and close with a yarn needle. For the wings, I worked a magic ring of 6 single crochets, and in the second round I worked 6 increases, but I worked by making half double crochets. For the third round, I worked with the pattern 1 and 1 increase, but using only double crochets. At the end of the round, you should have 18 double crochets. We're gonna make a magic ring by wrapping the yarn around 2 fingers like this and forming a letter X. Then grab your hook and insert it underneath this yarn and over this one. Now pull through, and you're gonna turn your crochet hook to form a little loop, this one right here. Now grab some yarn and pull it through that loop. And now you have your magic ring. You can pull from this tail to adjust it a little bit. Okay, now we're going to work single crochets here inside the magic ring. To make a single crochet, first we insert the hook into the ring and then we pull some yarn. Then we are going to close those 2 loops that we have on the hook, like this. That's your first single crochet. I'm going to repeat it. So I insert the hook and then I grab some yarn and pull through. And now I have 2 loops on my hook that I'm going to close together like this. Then you need to continue making a total of 6 single crochets into that magic ring. And once you have them, you can pull this tail to close it. It should look something like this. At first it's a little difficult to identify the stitches, but it's important to check which one is the first stitch. So according to the graphic, this is number 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. This is our first stitch. So there we're going to insert our hook to start round number 2. So to begin making an increase, I'm going to start by making a single crochet like this. And now into the same stitch that I have just worked, into this one where you can see the thread coming out here, you're going to insert the hook again, pull through, and then make a second single crochet. This is your first increase. Remember, one increase is 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So now we're gonna mark our first stitch, this one, and I'm going to continue making increases. Here I'm going to work 1 and 2 single crochets into this same stitch. So I have my first single crochet, and into the same stitch I'm going to work another single crochet. And you're going to continue like this around all round number 2. Okay, here I finished round 2, and I have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 single crochets total. For round number 3, we're going to start by making 1 single crochet in this first stitch, and we're going to mark it. Then in the next stitch we are going to make 1 increase. Remember, 1 and 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So now I have my pattern of 1 single crochet and 1 increase, which are these 2 stitches here. I'm gonna continue working all the round by making 1 single crochet, 1 increase, 1 single crochet, 1 increase around all round number 3. Here I've just finished, and we should have a total of 18 single crochets at the end of round 3. I'm going to start round number 4 by making the following pattern: 1 single crochet, then I place the stitch marker, and I make another single crochet, the second one, and in the next stitch I'm going to make 1 increase, 1 and 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So I made 1, 2, and 1 increase. Then I'm going to repeat the pattern: 1, 2, increase, 1, 2, increase, and so on until I finish round number 4. When you finish all this round, you should have a total of 24 single crochets. For round 5, we're going to change the pattern a little bit because we have these like weird lines that form in the parts where the increases fall, and it looks more like an hexagon than a circle. So we're gonna start by making 1 single crochet, and you have to mark it, and then you're going to make 1 increase here. Like this. So now I am ready to continue with my regular pattern, which is 1, 2, 3 single crochets and 1 increase, 1, 2, 3 single crochets and 1 increase all the way around. So we make the first one, the second single crochet, the third single crochet, and in the next one we need to make an increase like this. And as you can see, it looks more like a circle now. So you're gonna continue crocheting this pattern of 3 single crochets, 1 increase all the way around until you get to the end of round 5. As you can see, you have 2 stitches left, and you're gonna make 2 single crochets there. So we make 1 and 2, and this is the end of round 5. In total, you should have
30 single crochets.
As I was saying, you have to count 30 single crochets at the end of round 5. For round number 6, I'm going to start by making 1 single crochet, and then another. Wait, no, you need to mark it first. Don't forget, like me. You mark it first, and then you continue making a second single crochet, and in the next stitch you will make an increase like this. Now, to continue this round, we're going to start with a new pattern, which is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, increase, 1, 2, 3, 4, increase, all around until we finish round number 6. So we make 1, then 2, then 3, 4, and in the next one here we need to make an increase, 1 and 2 single crochets into the same stitch. We're going to continue all around working the same pattern of 4 single crochets and 1 increase. When you get to the end of round 6, you will notice you have 2 stitches left, so just make 2 single crochets like this, and you're done. At the end of round number 6, you should have 36 single crochets in total. For rounds 7, 8, and 9, we're gonna make 1 single crochet into each stitch. This means we're not gonna make more increases. We're just gonna crochet around, making a total of 36 single crochets for 3 more rounds. So I start by making the first single crochet, then I mark it, then I continue making my single crochets all the way around. Okay, here I have finished round number 9, and now I remove the crochet, but do not cut anything yet. Just put the yarn tails into this position, because here in this side, here we're gonna hide the color changes. Now for the eyes, we're gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Between the 4th and 5th rows, you're going to insert the first eye and just calculate that it is centered. So we are gonna count those spaces to the left and to the right. So let's see, we're gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Between the 4th and 5th row, we're going to insert the first eye. There you go. Now we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 between the 4th and the 5th. Just make sure it's lined up, and we got it. Okay, now we're gonna put the little back parts to make sure they don't fall off. For the mouth, we're going to take some black yarn, and we're gonna count 1, 2, 3. Between the 2nd and the 3rd row, we're going to insert our needle from the back between the second and third row, and we're gonna pull like this. Then we're gonna calculate the same distance to the other side and insert the needle again like this. Just pull gently and form the little smile. There we go. And now you're going to insert the needle again from the back where the bottom of the smile is, and just pull through gently. Now put your needle above the smile like this and insert it into that same stitch and pull through. You're making a little stitch here to secure the thread. Now you can shape it by pulling the threads a little bit, little by little, with patience, until you're happy with the smile. Here it is. So now we just have to secure the threads by making a double knot. So the first knot, just try to tie it gently, and then the second knot has to be really secure. You can cut this yarn and we're done. For the cheeks, I'm inserting the needle right below the eye using some pink yarn, and then I am putting it back in like this, leaving a space of 1 row approximately. Then I'm repeating the process to make it a little more defined. Like this. Now I'm going to repeat the same process on the other side. And this is the final result. Now you just need to secure and cut the yarn. We're ready to continue with row 10 or round 10. And we're going to start with our first color change. For that, we're going to start by making our first single crochet, but we're not going to close it. We're just going to stay there with our 2 loops on the hook, and we're going to close that stitch by using the black thread like this. And that's going to be your first stitch of round number 10. You can pull a little bit from these tails of yarn to adjust it. Then we're going to take the black yarn and continue working with it. We're going to hold these tails of yarn, and then we're going to start our next stitch, which is a single crochet. So pull through and close your stitch like this. That's going to be your second stitch, so we need to mark the first one we made like this. And now we can continue crocheting our single crochet. Here I insert the hook, I hold this tail, then I pull through and I close my stitch. One more time, so I insert my hook, I have to hold these tails of yarn on top of the crochet. Remember, on top of the crochet. Then I pull through and I close my stitch like this. You can continue working all around, making single crochets with black. When you have around 4 to 5 stitches, you can go ahead and cut the yellow yarn. And continue working with the black yarn. You're going to make 2 rows. Here I finished the 2 rows in black, and now I'm going to make the color change to yellow. So I start by making my first single crochet, but I don't close it. Then I'm gonna close it taking the new color. That's my first stitch of the next round, so I'm going to mark it, and then I'm gonna continue making 2 rows per color. So here I made 2 yellow, 2 black, 2 yellow, 2 black, and finally round 20, which is going to be yellow. Okay, here I finished row 20, and now I'm going to start making row 21. So I remove the stitch marker, and now I'm going to make 1 single crochet here. Then in the next one, another single crochet, so we have 2. Then another single crochet, we have 3, and we're going to make a 4th single crochet. Oh, don't forget to mark it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark the first stitch. Always mark the first stitch, don't forget. Okay, and in the next 2 stitches, we're going to make a decrease. What's a decrease? Is when we take these 2 stitches and make them 1. So if normally we insert the hook like this is a normal way. Now we're just going to take the front loop like this. So remember, we're going to take only the front loop like this. Okay, so we insert the hook taking only the front loop and the front loop of the second stitch. We pull through and we close that stitch. And that's what we call an invisible decrease. Now in the next stitch, we're going to insert the hook like this, normally. Yes, like this, and we're going to make 1 single crochet. In the next one, another single crochet, we have 2. In the next one, in the next one, we're going to make another single crochet, we have 3. And in the next one, we're going to make another single crochet, we have 4 now. In the next 2 stitches, we're going to make another decrease. So I take the front loop of the first, the front loop of the second. Again. Let's do it again. So, wait, there you go. So we insert it and take the front loop of the first, front loop of the second. We pull through and then we close the stitch. There we go. And now we can continue working with the same pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 decrease all the way around. Remember, 4 single crochets and 1 decrease. Here I'm finishing the last decrease, so I take both front loops, pull through, and then close my stitch. At the end of round 21, you're gonna have 30 single crochets. For round 22, we're going to start by making 1 single crochet, another single crochet, and another one. In total, 3 single crochets. Don't forget to mark that first stitch. This one here. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. That's the first one. Yeah, don't forget to mark it. So we have 3 single crochets, and now we have to make another decrease. So I take both front loops like this, pull through and close the stitch. And we're going to continue crocheting this pattern of 1, 2, 3 single crochets and then 1 decrease. Remember, 3 single crochets and 1 decrease. And by the end of round 22, you should have 24 single crochets in total. Here you can make a pause. so we can stuff our little chubby. So I take some stuffing and I'm going to start stuffing lightly. And now we can continue with round 23 by making 1, 2, and 1 decrease. Remember, 2 single crochets and 1 decrease. When you're crocheting this part, make sure to hold the stuffing a little bit so you don't end up crocheting stuffing in between your work. Okay, so go ahead and mark the first stitch and continue with the pattern until you finish round 23. By the end of this round, you should have a total of 18 single crochets. For round 24, we're going to start by making 1 single crochet, then mark it, and we're going to make a decrease. Then continue making another single crochet and another decrease. Continue making this pattern of 1 single crochet, 1 decrease until you finish round 24. And by the end of this round 24, you should have a total of 12 single crochets. Here you can make a pause and continue stuffing our little bee to make her a little more chubby. For round 25, we're just gonna make 6 decreases, and at the end of the round 25, you should have 6 single crochets. So we're gonna start with the first decrease, and this part can be a little tricky, especially if you're a beginner, so you should be very patient. Here I finished and I have the 6 single crochets, and we're ready to cut the yarn, leaving about 15 centimeters or around 6 inches. Then pull the crochet and we're ready to close. Take the yarn needle and thread it. And now we're going to sew this part by just taking the front loop of each stitch. So like this, I insert my needle through the front loop and pull gently. Then go to the second stitch. We still need to do 5 more. Go to the second stitch, only the front loop. There you go. Pull it back a little so you can see the stitches clearly. Here it is, only the front loop. That's number 3. Then this one right here is number 4, only the front loop, remember. This one right here is number 5. Only the front loop, and this one here, this one is number 6, only through the front loop. Now you're going to pull like this and it's gonna be closed. There you go, we are ready. Now just take the needle and insert it here so we can hide that and secure that thread, and you can come out right here next to this color change. In this part I like to take advantage of that thread and try to fix some irregular parts like this, especially in the part of the color changes. It's always kind of visible, so you can do that if you want to. Then we just take the thread out and we're just gonna cut it, but pull tight and then cut it. There you go. And we are done. For the wings, we're gonna make a magic ring, like I taught you at the beginning of the video. And we're going to crochet 6 single crochets here. When you have them, you're gonna pull the tail and close. Now for round number 2, we're gonna work with a new stitch called a half double crochet. We're going to make 6 increases of half double crochets. To make our first half double crochet, we're going to take some yarn like this, and now you will see 2 loops on your hook. With those 2 loops, you're going to insert the hook in the first stitch. Like this, you're gonna take some yarn and pull through. Now you will see that you have 3 loops on your hook. This one here. And you're gonna close them together, like this. That's your first half double crochet. Remember, an increase means 2 half double crochets in the same stitch. So to make the second one, we take some yarn, insert the hook in the same stitch, pull through, and then we are gonna close those 3 loops that we have in the hook. That's your first increase. Now we're gonna make another one, but first you have to mark that first stitch that you made. Okay, to make another increase, we're going to take some yarn, insert the hook, pull through, and close the 3 loops that you have there. Now in that stitch, in that same stitch, we're going to work the second half double crochet. Take yarn, insert it, pull through, and close the 3 loops together. Now you have 2 increases of half double crochet. Just continue working them until you have 6 increases of half double crochets. By the end of round 2, you should have a total of 12 half double crochets. For round 3, we're going to start making another new stitch. It's called the double crochet. So we take some yarn, we insert the hook. Now we have 3 loops, but we're going to close only the first 2, like this. Only the first 2. And now we have 2 loops in the hook. We're gonna close them together, like, like this. There you go. That's gonna be our first double crochet. So just mark it. Alright, and then in the next stitch, here in this stitch, we're going to make 2 double crochets together. That means we're going to make an increase of double crochets. So I start by taking some yarn, I insert my hook, pull through. Now I'm gonna close only the first 2 loops and the other 2, like this. Now I have to make another double crochet in the same stitch that I have just worked, in this one, into this same stitch here. So I take some yarn, I insert my hook, and well, okay, again, so I take some yarn, I insert the hook, pull through, and I have 3 loops. I'm going to close the first 2 and then the other 2. There you go. That's the pattern. So we continue making 1 and 1 increase, 1 and 1 increase of double crochets all the way around. And by the end of this round, you should have a total of 18 double crochets. To finish off, we're gonna insert the hook in the first stitch. You're gonna pull through. Now you have the 2 loops, but you're gonna continue pulling through like this, and that's called a slip stitch. Okay, so now you just need to leave a tail of 15 centimeters or 6 inches long and cut the yarn. Then you can pull the crochet out and we are done. You need to make another wing for our bee. First, you have to hide this tail from the magic ring by using a yarn needle and weaving it in between the wing. Here is what it should look like. And now we're ready to sew the wings. It should be here, like on the second stripe. You can put them there to see what it would look like. And you can use some pinks if you want to. And now we're going to start sewing like this. So take one stitch from the body and pull. And now you're going to take one stitch from the wing like this. And pull through. Then go again to the body and take one stitch here. Insert your needle and pull through. Now you have to go again and take one stitch from the wing, the next one, and pull through. Now you go again and take one stitch from the body like this. And that's it. The wing is secured. Now I'm gonna insert my needle like this and come out the other end, the other side of the wing. Now I'm gonna take some white thread from the wing. And I'm gonna secure this with a little knot. Like this, just pull to secure it. And now we can hide this tail by inserting our needle and like this and coming out the other end of the body like this. Don't pull too tight, otherwise you will mess up the body. So just cut the yarn and you can hide it like this. And now you just need to repeat the process for the second wing. And we're done. I really love this Chubee the bee. She's super cute and super adorable. And I really hope that you learned a lot in this video, and if you have any comments or questions, you can leave them in the comment section down below. Also, if you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe so I can continue making more content. See you in another video. Bye!